Buenos días, buenos tardes. Actually, yeah, it's buenos tardes.
Buenas tardes.
Hmm. It says it's recording, and I wonder if the other session recorded as well.
I think it was.
I need to see where they're saved then.
Guess what?
Okay. Where was it?
In the supply room.
Oh, how'd you guys get in?
I broke in with a piece of plastic.
Yeah, of course. That's why when I do the training for that video, I'm gonna tell them, and this is something that I do, and I've never lost a supply key, is when you go in, when you unclick the door, you don't take the key out. You leave it in the
Yeah.
door. I've never lost it. I think that's
I
just the
told
best
Mr.
way to do it.
Weiss he's not allowed to go in there unattended.
No, no, he's dropped the ball twice. Let me see. Yeah, he's connecting. Yeah, I gotta find where these are being saved at, because then that means last session's
Hola.
videos. Hola, hola. And as you'll see here, there'll be a an apology on one of in Legal Educator here, saying like, "Oh, sorry, I like the recording, but I'm sure it's saved somewhere, so I got to find that."
Yeah.
Because as soon as I started this, it was like recording in progress. It's like, okay,
I think they all get recorded.
yeah, you have to. It's a setting that you have to tick, so they
Oh.
don't all record by default. It's a setting. All right, we'll give it maybe 1 or 2 more minutes, and then we'll get started. In the meantime, any fun plans for the weekend, ladies? See?
You'll see.
Yes. Woo!
What are you doing, Yeli?
I'm going out to a birthday party.
Nice.
Finally, I'm going out. Woo!
Nice. A good change of pace, yeah?
I'm going to the Friends Experience.
Oh, that'll be fun.
What else am I gonna do? Oh, we might do the friendship garden Sunday.
Ah,
To be
hi.
determined. Oh, and then I'm gonna go hang up upside down right now in the gym.
You're gonna go
Oh, you-
hang up.
Workout?
No, but I just want to hang upside down because he brought his silk, his yoga silk.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Oh my God, that is so
Yeah.
cool. How about you, Andrew? Any plans?
Any plans? I'm moving this weekend actually. So yeah, I got a new place that's out in, yeah, by myself, yeah, out in Glendale.
Nice.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. So I cleared up a lot of stuff with the apartment today. And just got, I guess, everything in order. Got the cashier's check and all that fun stuff. So now it's time for the fun moving part of moving, getting everything together, and then just shipping it over.
Now
So
we know to whose house we're going for the weekend. Ooh, because you know they say you have to like, ¿cómo se dice bautizar? ¿Cómo se dice bautizar?
Like a housewarming party, you have to the initiation of the
Yeah.
house.
I might do something like that. We'll have to see though, because I know next week is pretty busy, but I've been thinking
I
about it.
shouldn't be
Don't
touching
worry.
this
Just
one.
get drunk by yourself. It's fine. If you don't do it, just get a prosecco and do your own thing. I, celebrate by myself, baptism, whatever the house.
Uh-huh. Well, I don't know if I'll be taking alcohol. And that's just because of my license situation. They don't take vertical licenses anymore.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Even though it's still valid. I'm of age, my face is there. But because it's vertical, they just don't want to take it. But it's okay. I got it. It went to my in the old place. Because I got the license and everything, and it's all paid for. It just needs to be sent over here. But anyway, that's neither here or there.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna take this to the postage
Okay,
printer.
go for it. This is being recorded. I can confirm. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and share my screen. It's gonna ask me which one. I'm gonna select screen 2. And now, okay, you can see this, yeah? See? Okay. So today we're just going to be discussing Legal Educator. I don't think we'd have time for anything else. And also, because I'm moving, I got to get to it. So yeah, but Legal Educator should take up all of our time today. So to get to Legal Educator, and well, first of all, let me explain what Legal Educator is. Legal Educator is going to be the place where we transition all of our trainings to. We want to have all our trainings in one single space instead of scattered all over the place where no one can find them and they get lost over the years. Like, that's not going to happen anymore. We want to have it all here. There are still some trainings that are still floating about. So with that, I mean, there's some that are migrated over, but with the other ones, we just got to assemble them together. I need to see if they need to be updated or not, or edited, stuff like that. But and anyone can make these trainings, I guess, if they're authorized to do so. But I know Miss Silva has plenty of trainings that she wants to start implementing and people to see. And this is the place where we put them. So I guess this probably won't be in effect for a few weeks. I know for the Zoom class, or this webinar class that we're doing, you will be coming here to access the training archives, as you can see right there, which we'll go over in a second. But for, I guess, the rest of the firm, it'll be a transition here in a few weeks where we'll tell everyone, hey, this is where all the trainings are. Yeah, so if someone is saying, can I do this, or can you train someone on here, this is where we would lead them to. And everyone is set up in the firm with credentials. So you guys will be getting your credentials once at the end of this session. And for those of you that are watching like ahead of the time, just be sure to reach out to me, and we'll get you those credentials so that you can have access to these as well. So anyway, so where do we go? We go to legaleducator.com, no space. You just type it in right here to any URL, and it should spit you out to this page right here. Okay, and then what we're going to do from here is we're just going to go to the top and click login. Okay, it's already remembered my username, which you can do, but you'll just log in with your credentials that you're going to get, username here and password here, and then you can remember your username if you need to or not. And we just click on login. Oh, it's an invalid login. Oh, really? Let me try that again. I think I was using another password or something else. Yep, that was the issue. All right, so I think depending, I haven't really seen the user side of things yet. So your Legal Educator might look different from mine, but as far as the dashboard and site home view, it should be relatively the same. So courses, all that's going to show up here, I think, is courses that you're enrolled in. So for you guys, you would see probably right here, you'd be enrolled in the webinar Zoom archives. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. And then maybe some other stuff if we've already enrolled you. I did all this, I think, yesterday or the day before, where I organized everyone and put everyone where they needed to go. But here's, yeah, you can see, so when the dashboard pops up, you'll probably have no recent courses until you actually go into a course. And then when you come back to the dashboard, it will display. But yeah, and then if there's any activities that we assign, we might not right now. But if they show up, they'll be right here in the timeline for upcoming activities. Private files, if you have any private files, you'll see who's online right here. You can see how many users are online. For right now, it's just me. I know James and Hugo, they have access to this and they've been doing their own thing with this every now and again. And then when badges is something pretty cool. It's something that you guys will get at the end of your first course with the webinar stuff. There's a little badge that I will give to you guys on here as a little cool thing. And then you have the calendar right here. All right, so next we'll go to site home, which is where you're actually going to find the trainings and where they are. So this looks a lot like the home screen, which essentially it is. The only difference is when you click on something on the home screen, it's going to be like, oh, you haven't signed in. And then it might kick you to this page, or it might kick you into a course, or it might kick you into the dashboard. One of those three options might happen. But on the home screen, when you first get to legaleducator.com, I would just say to sign in. That'd probably be the best way to do so. But site home here is where, like I said, all the trainings are going to be stored. So we can go over those really quickly. So Paychex Flex and INS Zoom have, I think, good information in them right now, but they're not really up to date is the thing. Like in INS Zoom, there's all this stuff, like that's cool, but I think we also pulled them from the official INS Zoom website, or Hugo did. So they're pretty basic, and some stuff might be relatable to our firm and they might not. I don't know because I haven't seen these. We plan on making our own custom training for INS Zoom, at least for the time being. I know we're planning on switching softwares, and when we do, we'll make training for those. Or whatever we get trained on, like we're planning on going to a new software soon for accounts receivable. People will train individuals on there, and then we'll just ask for that recording and store them in there. So stuff for our firm will be here. So anyway, when you click on, I think a better view would actually be back over here in site home. I think welcome training will be better. Yeah. So on some of these, what you will see is like this first part will have announcements, I guess it'll say, or any like key information to do first. So for like welcome training for new hires, or I guess anyone that accesses this page, you'll be required, or not required, but you should definitely, read me first. I think I should read this first. You know what I mean? And then there'll be topics. So the topics are just under this category of welcome training. So the topic here would be Vonage and creating labels so far. And then within these topics is where we have the actual content for said topic. So for instance, for Vonage, I would click right in here. And that would just load me into where I can view the Vonage training video that was actually just created. I can click on that. You'll hear my lovely voice and all that, but you can do that there. And then if you go in, so it's like a folder structure. Like I go over in the color bar video. It's like you're hopping around different folders and you just click the folders to go back and forth. So on the left-hand side, you'll probably notice that all these have changed. The main list is right here from dashboard down to content bank. Obviously you won't have site administration. But here is where you'll find like, okay, who's the participants for this. You can see everyone's name that has been added and they're enrolled so they can view this. And the badges, if they have any. Grades, I don't think are very, they're not applicable in this sense. Competencies, not applicable either. But here you can see the folders, right? So right here you'll have general, and it will spit you back to the welcome training home page, if you will. That's always going to say general. And then within there, you'll see the Vonage, which will just click you right here, and creating labels. So these aren't so useful, I guess, on the home page. If you have just a couple, but if you had like 15, it might be useful so you don't have to scroll up and down the page. But getting back into it, you just simply click to go in, and then just use the folders over here to come back out, if that makes sense. All right, so that's how you kind of navigate. If there are instructions below, which you'll see like right here, well, this is actually not available unless, so this is for new hires, which actually we should go to the README first. What am I even doing? So there'll be sometimes there'll be two subsections here where it will give you pretty much information and good instructions on what to do. So one is for current staff. So you two, right, you would go in here, and then you'll see this little note. Probably looking for trainings. So there's no need for you to take quizzes. But you can, if you want, to check for your own understanding, but it's not mandatory. For new hires, it would be. Of course, you can either go back to general, or you can come back here to new hires if you're in like a forum, like what this is, and it will switch you back. Well, actually, you actually have to come back here and then read me first, and then you can go back to new hires from there. And next for the quiz. So for this stuff, you'll see there might be instructions on there, like a description, like we have right here. Restricted. So this should be available to some of you. Again, for current staff, I haven't tested this yet. But once we get it all figured out, for current staff, you should be able to see the quiz. And then for any new hires, you shouldn't be able to see until you watch the video and then mark it complete. And then for the quiz, again, you'll have an instruction, or if there's anything here that has an instruction, it'll be right here. And then a special message will be marked right there. And then all you would do is just simply follow the instruction. Okay, right click, open link, a new tab. And that's todo. All right, so now where to access our stuff. So for the people participating in the webinar, this is where we would go in order to access our stuff. It's not spitting me back out. Okay, so if it does this, I think it's because I'm still in the welcome training folder. You can just click pointing up here. I think that spits you back to the main page. So you can either go there, or you can click the site home, and that will bring you back to this page where it will display everything. Motion to withdraw training and team leads. I don't think they have anything in them. This, I guess, has a PowerPoint, but that's about it. I tried to sort this out as best as I could, but there's some stuff that I can't change, and that's probably because Hugo said it there. But for all of these, they should have content in there. Legal assistant ethics will have some stuff. Although, for those that are enrolled, sometimes you won't see stuff like this, just because it's meant for certain users. So admins, for instance, you wouldn't have access to this. And that's just because it's just not relative for your position currently. This is required for legal assistants and above to watch. And it just goes over the ethics and rules and guidelines of what you can and can't say to clients. And just like I think for the webinar training archives, if we go in here and participants, right. So all you guys are enrolled right now, so you'll have access to this. But actually, do whoopsie. So all this will be displayed. It will show for you guys, but when you try and go in, it will give you an error and say, hey, you're not enrolled in the program or something like that, and it won't let you in. But it will actually display, so that's my bad on that. But in terms of this, so here's the PowerPoint, or the it was in PowerPoint form, but now it's in PDF form, just to make it easier for your viewing pleasure, so you don't have to deal with the PowerPoint stuff, right? And I say apologies, the Zoom recording wasn't downloaded. This is a lie. It actually was downloaded, as me and Paula were just seeing. So I'll go ahead and I'll upload that hopefully by this weekend, if not by Monday. So there should be two things in here. One is going to play the recording, and then the other one is just going to give you the PDF of all the slides. And I think that's what I'm going to do going forward for the trainings themselves. And then in announcements, this is where you will find the information, or useful information, aka read me first. So here are the general rules and guidelines of Zoom. these are subject to change, and there might be more, there might be less. So this is somewhere every time you log in, I would recommend just double checking, just to make sure you stay up to date with everything. So we can go over these three real quick. So the first, I guess, rule or guideline would to be sure to review and reflect once in a while, because there will be quizzes at the end of each course. And again, the reason for them is not only to check your understanding, but to also make sure that I'm doing a good job, right? Again, I want to keep these fun, but I also want to keep these educational. So it's like a survey and quiz for me as well, or at least to see if I'm doing well, if I'm explaining things well, and you guys are getting the information. And it's stuff, it's not going to be like massive quizzes or anything. They shouldn't be too hard to understand, or they shouldn't be too hard at all. But just so that you guys are getting it, because you can apply it actually. And with the upcoming courses, there's stuff in there that we're going to go over that you can apply like on the spot. Like you can come into work. Well, if we still do them on Fridays, you'll be able to come into work on Monday and be like, I got this, and then just apply what you've learned. Number two, so you get a reward for doing the webinars, just as a general, like, hey, learning is fun, and I thank you for being here and participating. And you guys obviously meet these requirements, but for the rest of you, you need to participate in at least 2 webinars a month or 2 sessions a month, and take the quiz in order to get your reward. And again, that's just, to show that you're actively participating, and that, you're trying to learn. And I understand if you guys miss 1 or 2 sessions, that's fine. I understand with work and life and all this other stuff. It's okay to miss a session or 2. Just it probably best to let me know about it. But again, I completely understand. But in order to get that sweet reward, you have to be here at least twice. And then number 3, in order to actually keep attending the webinars, you need to at least participate once a month. And I'm thinking about doing a grace period if you come and talk to me, or rather I'll reach out to you if someone like signs up, and it's a month passes, they don't show up at all. I'll reach out and say, hey, what's going on? Is everything okay? Or, do you still want to participate in the webinars? I'm going to kind of give them a 1-week grace period. So if you miss a month, okay, and it's due to stuff that, is just out of your control or work and stuff, and I get it. And you just want to participate. You have that Friday to participate. Otherwise, you will be removed from there. And of course, if you would love to participate in these webinars and learn the information, but you just can't under any circumstances, just like I said, because of work or life or whatever, you just speak to me privately and we'll get that figured out for you. But
So we take these quizzes at the Legal Educator website?
So that is something that I'm going to play with. That's a great question. That is something I'm going to play with, just because Legal Educator has their own quizzes and their own quiz system set up. So far, the 2 quizzes that I made are for the welcome training. I did them on a Google form, just because I found it much easier to build and it looks nice. So I haven't touched the quizzes for Legal Educator. So that's something I'm gonna have to balance out. But in terms of where you would find them, I think yes, for our webinar purposes, you would probably find the quizzes in here. Yeah. So anyway, these again are subject to change. Just depends, how the terrain looks in the future. But that's that. Is there any other questions in regards to this? And we'll continue on with Legal Educator.
I was gonna ask,
Mhm.
I was gonna ask anything regarding the handbook or anything HR. Will that be added here as well?
I don't know. That's something that me, Hugo, HR, and possibly Paula would have to talk about. That's I don't know, what would you say, Paula? Is that more of a training thing or is that just a general employee thing?
I feel like it's more like general information, but maybe one a training that you can do is how to access all that general information. I mean, maybe a lot of people don't even know where to look, you know?
Yeah.
So I think like that would be a great training also, even though it's more HR, but it's still in the system of how to locate it. Like, how do you know how much time off you have? Where do you find this? Where do you find that? So I feel like that would be maybe possibly something you can teach us.
Yeah.
Because
So
I was
yeah,
gonna say,
oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, since we get the review every now and then, and we're taking this test here, like we're getting trained on the knowledge that we have, it is important that you guys also know how knowledgeable we are. Like even filing, the way that we do filing, there's so many things that may need, even for me, right? Uploading documents in Zoom and all those details. We want to make sure that the people that are here for 3 to 6 months, they are knowledgeable of that, and maybe that would be also great to have in the HR.
Sure. Yeah, in terms of like the general information, that's something that we'll have to discuss. But in terms of how to do things, like how to access certain documents, yes, 100%. All any and all trainings will be located here in Legal Educator. So for instance, if I go back to the site home, I don't think there was anything else aside from this Zoom video will be under Legal Educator Basics. So this is where you'll find the recording to come back in reference to, especially those that missed out. But if we go back to here, like for Paychecks Flex, right? More of an HR thing and stuff that Anna does go over, but I did want to get her input and see like if, okay, how do we like do it just as a reference? Because, you know, on welcome day, or if you're new, there's just a lot of stuff and a lot of information to process. Or like even as something as like, you know, what you were saying, Yeli, with files and filings and all this. And individual department trainings will also be here as well at some point. It's just a matter of figuring out a roadmap, talking with the different departments and stuff like that. But yes, they will be added here. But yeah, for Paychecks Flex, for instance, like I said, even though that's an HR thing, just to have a general video on like where to go and just to verify that, you know, so, you know, you have the oral version and then you actually have something that you can go and reference. Here, it's just the manual and a general overview. I don't think it's anything. I haven't opened these, so I don't know how up to date they are again. But yeah. Is there anything else that I wanted to go over in Legal Educator? I don't believe so. And that's pretty much it for today. That's just Legal Educator in a nutshell. So for you guys, I think what I'll rather do instead of posting it in a Zoom chat, Zoom chat, excuse me, is I'll send it to your guys' Vonage, Paola and Yeli. So the username and password I will go ahead and send to you once the Zoom is ended. And of course, for the rest of you out there, if you don't have credentials yet, come and talk to me. And we'll get that. I'll go ahead and give you those credentials for you. So now you have access to Legal Educator. And before we say goodbye and say hello to the weekend, do we have any questions?
No questions.
Okay.
Yet.
Nope. No further questions, Your Honor. Mind your tongue, Paula. I'm just kidding. Anyway, that's it from me. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the screen. Yeah, stop the screen share really quick. Yeah, I hope you guys have a great weekend. That is it. I'm off to packing, and I hope you guys stay safe and have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.